Hello, Stephen White, Steve Arts 89 or formerly Trekboy 89. Okay, I just watched season 2, episode 12 of Discovery. I had some issues with it and I was preparing to do my video and just sort of collecting my thoughts. And then, holy shit, I found the preview for the next episode because we don't get them on Netflix. In America, on All Access, they have a preview for the next episode after each episode, and they eventually get on YouTube online, so you see them. But I normally don't look for them because it's hard enough dealing with Discovery one day a week. I don't want to be thinking about the next episode any more than the episode makes me, because at the moment there are so many elements that are really frustrating. So I'm not looking at them, but I just stumbled across one and oh my god, holy shit. We actually finally get a shot of the fucking bridge from this Enterprise, from the Enterprise from this series. And it looks good. It shows that you can do those basic designs. And you can modernize it and update it, but still have it identifiable. You can look at it, you can see that is the bridge of the Enterprise. It's new, it's shiny, it works, it's more modern, but it still is the Enterprise. So that was amazing, because another thing that happened was I was watching Trek Yards and they had a video about the new D7. I'm like, yeah, I know there's going to be a new D7 at some point, blah, blah, blah. Because they showed a hologram of it in an earlier episode. But what I didn't realize was they actually had someone saw the preview and made them aware of it for the next episode, because they don't get it also. Wherever they see their episodes, I think one of them's in England, I don't know. They normally don't get the preview as well. So they hadn't seen the shot in the preview for episode 12 of the new D7. So they did a whole video on that once they saw it and found it. And the D7 actually looks amazing. So I knew that was coming in this episode as well, but I've just found out about that yesterday. So that looks great. And in this next episode, we see the Enterprise and the Discovery facing off against a huge number of Section 31 vessels, probably all of them, that have all come to get the sphere data. And there's two shots in the preview. One where we see the Discovery and the Enterprise going towards the Section 31 ships. And then the next shot is the gorgeous Rebecca Romaine as number one, perfectly cast. She works really well. But we had one scene with her eating a hamburger. That's all we had. And I thought they've got to have more. If that's all they do with her, she's got to come up in the last couple of episodes along with the Enterprise. And the uniforms, we see Pike back in his yellow uniform. We see the bridge and the whole crew is wearing the correct colour uniforms that look like Star Trek. When you see that shot, that's Star Trek. And it still looks good. It's modern. It works. There's no reason why they couldn't have done the whole series like that, except that they had copyright issues and they would have had to pay for the copyright for all those designs, and then they wouldn't be able to make uniforms and costumes and or they probably could still monetize the coloured versions of the Discovery suits that they eventually made, but they couldn't have gone with the original designs or some slight modification of the original designs, because they couldn't have monetized them. They couldn't have got someone to, like Ruby's costumes, to make costumes to sell, or the action figures in the outfits, in the costumes, the uniforms. They couldn't have done that. So that's why they made up their own design, which was totally removed from the original Star Trek series and the JJ films. So, and this is why it's only in an episode or so, is obviously because they can't make any money out of putting this up there. It's just there to shut the fans up and to make some sort of olive branch extending to us that we acknowledge that this Star Trek does exist, and we're going to show you just so you know it's happening, it's there. We're going to keep you on Discovery with all the licensed things that we can sell, that we can monetize, but we're just going to give you a few shots of, or an episode or so of, the rest of the universe as you wanted to see it. So, yeah. It's amazing, but just getting down from that little high of, oh my god, there it is, it looks great, they did do it, they did do the bridge. I'd heard they had made the set, and it was going to appear in later episodes on the Enterprise, that they were going to feature the Enterprise later on. but they said a lot of things that weren't true. So I wasn't holding my breath, and it came up. I got excited, and now I'm just realizing the problem with that is once you see what you could have had, it's going to be so much harder when season 3 rolls along and we're back on Discovery in the blue uniforms with the ship, the dark ship, which with all the lights glaring in our eyes and the lens flare, and Discovery again. It's such a cruel tease. If they were using this as a pilot to then go and make a Pike series, which is what everyone wants. Everyone wants. If you do a prequel, we want to go back to the roots and show the original. We want a modernized show of the original that can stand up that will interest contemporary audiences and can stand up with other shows, that are produced now, but still be Star Trek. That's what we want. We want Star Trek. We just want a new series. And part of the problem now with Picard is that they have gone so far away from Star Trek with Discovery because it had to be removed from the original. The JJ films had to be a certain percent removed from the original series so they could get their copyright and make the films. And Discovery had to be removed even further, apparently, from the JJ films because apparently they were so unhappy with the fact they were put in that situation the first time, and they had a no compete clause where CBS couldn't produce a show while the movies were being produced. That when CBS All Access needed Discovery to launch the streaming service or to be the cornerstone of the streaming service, they had to then negotiate with the people they just screwed over. So then they screwed them back over and said, well, your show can't look anything like our show either because we need our own license. We need to preserve our own IP that we've created that's a variation of yours, so we can sell it. So your other IP, your other show, your other designs have to be different from ours as well. So now you've got this show that's twice removed from Star Trek that doesn't look or feel like Star Trek, all because people want the copyright, the licensing rights to what they've created. So CBS gets to get all the money for all the licensing for the original Star Trek. The JJ films get all the licensing from all the designs and look and everything, the universe they created for their films, and Discovery had to do its own separate thing as well. Instead of just CBS just using its own license and its own resources and making a pure 100% Star Trek show and making everyone happy. So that's the situation that we're in. And as happy as I was when I saw that preview and as excited I was, I wanted to just make this video first and not even do the video for the episode because I was more excited about this. And I'm really, considering I have no followers at the moment, just people I've begged to subscribe because I lost my channel recently and I only had 1,000 subscribers anyway, but that was something. I'd get a few hundred views for my Star Trek reviews and stuff, and I felt like I was talking to people. It was now I'm just kind of talking to myself, so I thought, well, I'd rather talk about the new bridge and seeing the Enterprise again. But I thought, no, make that video, then make this, stick in continuity, don't F with time, because that's what Discovery's doing, and just make this video. But as I'm coming down from that little bridge high of seeing the bridge, I'm realizing what we could have had. And I just wish that they would just pull the Section 31 show no one wants and just do the Pike show. You can bring Georgiou into it. I know they just wanted to do a series around her because she's a big star and she's just had a big hit with Crazy Rich Asians and they're doing a sequel, so they wanted to keep her. But there's no reason why they couldn't have gone back 7 years and done a Captain Georgiou on the Shinzu series and used her. It's only a couple of years difference. The same actress could play the same role, no problem. And they could have had all the Discovery people featured in some ways and just basically have a Star Trek series out exploring instead of all the Klingon War and Red Angel time traveling stories that Discovery's had. They could have just done a regular Star Trek series with that. Or they could just bring her into the new Pike series somehow. Section 31 gets taken down and she ends up working for Pike or helping Pike or just being part of the series. Maybe she just ends up at Starfleet and he has to deal with her. Like there's still a way to involve her. If it's just frustrating when you can see so many better ways to deal with the show than the people in charge, or the people in charge, they probably see what you want the fans want and the possibilities, but they're not allowed to do it due to licensing, or just because certain people are trying to put the show in a different direction for a different audience. The mainstream audience, that we all know, they're just trying to dumb Star Trek down, water it down, make it more generic, so the general audiences will watch it and they'll get more numbers. But those people, it doesn't inspire fanaticism and fandom. It doesn't. Those people do not become fans. They don't go out and buy the ships and the toys, and they don't go to conventions. They don't rewatch the episodes. They don't take them into their life. There's no, the philosophy, the thing that made Star Trek special, that made it important to people and made people hold on to it and share it from generation to generation as this phenomenon, is being sucked out of the show just for the idea of mass appeal. But it's not working. They're not getting giant numbers, and the people that they are getting are just watching it casually. They're not the fans that are fighting and bitching about, like, they would never fight this hard if they change the series later. You're not going to have the same reaction from those fans as you've had from the original Star Trek fans. But yeah, I've gone off in a few directions, but yeah, basically Bridge looks great, the Enterprise is back, number one's back. But yes, it does, it's a double-sided sword. It's great to see it, but then you realise what we could have had. So let's just hope that if Viacom and Paramount merge again, because we just had the Disney Fox merger, so anything can happen, they will be able to, there won't be any licensing issues. All that will be rewritten, and then the next series will, the only elements that will be in play will be creative decisions, not licensing issues or politics. So I'm still going to be optimistic, but we'll see where that goes. So thank you for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, share. I need all the help I can get because I'm starting from scratch for a new channel. But thanks for watching.